Match week 2 of the Premier League is here, and Liverpool will be looking to bounce back from that draw against Newcastle in the first week. Liverpool had to wait to the 99th minute to get a draw against Newcastle via penalties. Now, for the likes of Man United and Tottenham, they'll also be looking to bounce back from the first week of defeats, of course. And the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, who secured a victory in their first games, okay, we'll be looking to build on those such performances. So let's analyze this match week 2 to see what we should be expecting, right? Okay, now looking at the games, for of course, we're going to start with Liverpool, because that's my team. Yeah, Liverpool, the first game was not so nice. There were a lot of struggles. I already pointed out the midfield that the midfield needs we need to look for a signing or two in that midfield, especially in the defensive midfield area, okay? Because these 2 goals that we looked at, were scored from counters, and were just like the space between the defense and the attack was just too much. And that was why the midfield was also open and prone to the conceding chances from those counters. We had a midfielder that can actually run. I just think we wouldn't have considered a goal in that game, or even if we were going to consider maybe just 1 goal. Okay, I think the signing in midfield is needed. But of course, Liverpool were able to secure, from rumours, they will be able to secure the signing of Barcola. Okay, he'll be coming in by the weekend. Okay, and let's see how he's going to impact in the team, of course, because I also said the right wing needs someone. We need someone in that right wing. We cannot be using Ngoma on that right wing. I feel like he's naturally a left-sided winger, not the right-sided winger. And now we also be thinking that we might also lose Gakpo. We get to lose Gakpo. Who replaces him? Mind you, we did not replace Curtis Jones to the left. So I think there should be a signing in the midfield as soon as possible. Okay, we've secured 1 winger. Okay, but for Gakpo to leave, if Gakpo is going to leave, we're going to need another winger. So we need a replacement for Curtis Jones in midfield. And I think that person should be a defensive midfielder. Yeah, that has legs, that can run. Yeah, cover for so many lapses that we've seen so far from the midfield. Now we're going to be looking at the game against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are not a pushover side, okay? They've been giving Liverpool tough time in the Premier League. Yes, in recent times they've been short. Even the win we had against them last season, we had to wait so late for that McAllister header. And we can't be playing such way against some sides. There are some sides that are actually okay in the Premier League. There are no small sides, but we need to stamp our ground this season. Yeah, we shouldn't be struggling. I feel we shouldn't be struggling against such sides. Yes, we're going to be chasing the title. We shouldn't be struggling against such sides. So I think we need to get up on early starts. We need to get up on an early start against Nottingham Forest. We should be the one scoring the first goal this time, not trying to come back in games. Okay, we should be the one, getting that early goal. We need to see that, early pressing from Liverpool, early fight. We need to get that. Whether it's the first half victory or whatever, we need to make sure we score first in the first half and also try to keep a clean sheet. Yeah. So I don't know who's going to be starting, but from what I feel like, okay, in the back line, I think we're still going to be having Jeremy Frimpong there. Of course, there's no right back currently suited to play at the right. Nobody's fit in right back. Bradley is still out, so I think Jeremy Frimpong, the same back line of Jeremy Jacket, right? And Van Dijk and Kekes will also start. Although we might make a claim for Araujo to start, because when he came in against Newcastle, he did very well. In the midfield, we might have the same midfield. Yeah, or if there's going to be a change, maybe McAllister comes in for either Gravenberch, or I don't think he's going to take out Szoboszlai. Maybe Florian Wirtz, so that Szoboszlai can push forward, but I don't think he wants to keep that balance in midfield. From what he has said in his press, right? He wants to keep that balance in Liverpool. I think we might still go with the same midfield. Now for the attack, I expect Victor Munoz to come in now. I expect Victor Munoz to start on the right side, while on the left side we have Gakpo, and on the right and the center we have Isak. And please, Isak, we need a goal in this fixture. Okay, and that will be the early fixture for Saturday. But today being Friday, this evening we'll be having Crystal Palace against Manchester City. Now this is not an easy fixture for Manchester City. They struggle to win their first game. Okay, they have to score 2 late goals to win that game. So it's interesting to see what they do against Palace away from home. In the later games of Saturday, we have Bournemouth against Everton. Now Bournemouth lost their first game will be looking to bounce back against Everton. Okay, Everton also actually won their first game, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Coventry, the newly promoted side, who lost against Arsenal, will be hosting Hull City that won against Man United. Same Hull City. So it's good to see. Let's see what two newly promoted sides can actually. Let's see the quality they can bring to the Premier League. We're waiting to see that one. Then Tottenham against Newcastle. Tottenham will host Newcastle on the last game on Saturday. Now I think Tottenham, they have some signs coming in, and I think some of them might actually play. Yeah, in this game actually start. But it's interesting to see what they can do against Newcastle. Remember, Newcastle lost a lot of players, but they didn't show signs of losing players against Liverpool. They fought so hard for that one, but I feel like because it was actually a home feature at St. James's, which is not an easy ground to go to. So that's what actually propelled them to secure that draw. But it's interesting to see what they do against Tottenham. I think Tottenham might bounce back in this one though. But let's see that. Then Chelsea on Sunday against Brighton. Now Chelsea, they have a fluid attack from the first game. They were just so excited by the likes of João Pedro, Obama, Morgan Rogers, how they performed in the first game. Good to see. It's going to be great to see what they can do at home against Brighton. I think they should be able to win that one. Leeds against Brentford. Leeds, another side that I feel like this season might also be battling relegation. So let's see what they do against Brentford. Sunderland against Fulham. Sunderland played so well last season. It was funny to see them losing their first game. But Sunderland. I don't know. I don't just know, because losing some players for Sunderland might not just be easy for them this season. I don't think they will actually be struggling or fighting for that Euro place this season. Okay, I think they might just not finish in the top. Maybe they're going to be battling relegation. Let's get to see what they do against Fulham. Now Man United against Ipswich. Man United losing their first game now at home against Ipswich. This will be, I think, the easiest fixture to call for the weekend. They just find that victory against Ipswich. Okay, they don't have any excuses. They are at home now, right? Against Ipswich, the newly promoted side. They should be winning this one. Then on Sunday, the fixtures conclude with Aston Villa hosting Arsenal. Now Aston Villa, they just lost their goalkeeper. I just feel like they are losing the strength they had last season. They lost Rogers to Chelsea, and I just feel like they might struggle a bit this season. That's why I didn't even place them in my top 6 for the Premier League this season. So it's been trying to see what they can do against Arsenal. But this feature is always a crazy feature. It's always been an entertaining one. It's good to see what Aston Villa can do against Arsenal, who are also of course title favorite. So that's the game with 2 features. Which feature are you most looking forward to? Drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please do well to click on the like button. Okay. Also, do well to share the video to your friends. I'll be happy if you do that. And also, the best way you can support us is by subscribing to the channel. Okay. I'll see you in my next video. For now, thanks for watching. Goodbye.